Hey, what is going on everyone? I hope you guys are all having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to get into AI bot lobbies in Apex Legends Season 16. I already made a video going over how to get in one of these lobbies, but this is going to be my more in-depth video going over the bots themselves and how you can make sure that you are the only one playing in the lobby, so it will just be your squad and then all bots. But before I go over all of that, I have actually found a way to get XP from these lobbies. As always, I still need to do a little bit of testing and research on this glitch, so definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already so you can get notified as soon as that video comes out. With all that being said, let's get right into today's video. So to recap, recently we got Apex Legends orientation matches. These matches are intended for new players who are just coming into the game, and when those new players queue up to play their first couple matches, they'll end up getting into matches where all the opponents are bots instead of just being thrown into a normal Apex Legends match, which I think was a really good thing added in by the developers, because we all know how amazing the matchmaking system in this game can be at times. Again, before I go over how to get into these lobbies, the matchmaking system for these lobbies are very smart. New players and all the other new players queuing up for the first time, they go to their own separate lobbies, and for all the Smurfs and new players who are getting their friends to join them, they end up going to their own separate lobby. Now, if you want to get into one of these orientation matches, all you need to do is get a friend or a level 1 alt account, or really just any account that still has access to orientation lobbies. And it is important that you're the one joining that alt account and the alt account isn't joining you. I have found that this works a lot better that way. And if you want to keep doing this over and over again with the same account, you'll want to make sure as soon as the match starts that you close Apex on that level 1 account. And by doing this, you're making sure that your level 1 account never gets leveled up. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how to get an empty lobby. So what that means is you and your squad will be in there and the rest of the squads will be bots. Usually in orientation matches, there usually is going to be between 2 to 4 real squads and then the rest are bots. But if you want the best chance of guaranteeing that all your opponents are going to be bots, all you'll need to do before every match, you're going to want to change the server that alt account is tied to. You don't need to set it to a server that's far away, but you won't want to play on the exact same server that you just played on. During the last 2 weeks, I have been testing this out and seeing if this works. And I have found that if you are constantly changing your server, this is going to give you a really good chance of getting in a all bot lobby. Since orientation games themselves are very buggy and laggy, it would appear that orientation game data is somewhat stored / stuck on the recent server that you played on. And when you go and change your server to play another orientation match, for whatever reason, now the game is going to think that you're a brand new player again, even though you had recently queued into an orientation match. And what will end up happening is it's going to end up putting that level 1 account with the players who have joined it into a match which is going to be made up of all bots. Now it's definitely time to talk about how the bots work themselves. Now you guys will see in the clips, these bots are absolutely hilarious to spectate. Although while I was spectating the bots, I definitely thought for sure I was gonna have a seizure. Now starting off, we don't know exactly how these bots are programmed. Other games such as Call of Duty program their bots off of their players' data, so it is basically machine learning at that point. The game sees how its players are playing, and then it turns around and emulates that. Now either these bots were made off of player data, and let me tell you something, I really hope that's not true, or it could be that Respawn didn't do a very good job of implementing the data. I think at the end of the day, it's a little bit of both. I think the bots are supposed to be bad because obviously these bots were intended for new players. And I definitely think the bots themselves have a special algorithm. So for instance, the bots are only supposed to hit you so many times. For every 10 rounds, only 2 are supposed to hit, or something along those lines. These bots are definitely not too smart, as they should be, because they were intended for opponents who are brand new to the game. Although I will say sometimes these bots can be a little bit broken. Sometimes they completely just miss all of their shots on you, and other times they have insane aimbot. So I definitely think these bots are a little bit buggy at the end of the day, and it is probably the reason that Respawn didn't release bot lobbies for all players, because the bots themselves aren't too advanced yet. Although something does tell me that they are working on these bots, and we might see bot lobbies released for all players sometime in the future. And the last major thing to mention about these bots, these guys already have hacks built into them. When they go to pick up a weapon, they automatically know where all the attachments for those weapons are. So if you see one pick up a weapon, then that bot will run to all these random places that just so happens to have all the attachments needed for its weapon. So I thought that was another neat thing to point out. And if they are not pushing shots, they're opening up every loop in sight. They do make an effort to not get trapped in the storm and to make it into the next ring. However, it can be said that these bots constantly get caught out in the storm and end up perishing in it, as well as a couple of them every game always seem to find a way to fall off the map for whatever reason. Honestly, I couldn't tell you why, they just walk off. And the last thing I'll go over and reiterate from the last video, if you are not taking the steps that I mentioned in this video to make sure that you're the only one in the lobby, or for whatever reason changing servers just does not work, there are plenty of people doing this. And before I found out you could change your server and do this trick, I was going into orientation matches with other people who were doing the exact same thing as me. So again, that is something to know if you're not repeatedly changing your server, and sometimes doing this little glitch doesn't always work because it is a glitch. It is a good reminder to know that you are not alone in these lobbies and not all your opponents are bots. So definitely always stay alert when you are in these lobbies. Again, go out there, have fun, and I don't think there's any chance that you'll get banned for doing this, because on their website they did say to bring whoever into these matches, so they knew that people were going to do this anyway. And with all that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. Leave any questions you have down in the comments below. A huge thank you to my subscribers and channel members. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you all around later. Bye guys.